So I'm here speaking with Oscar Sachs on your left. Wave, Oscar. And George Adler here on the right. Well, it's my right and my left, so I think that's how it's going to come out for you. We're going to ask a few questions of George and Oscar. And the first couple of questions is, have you ever given video or TV interviews about your personal experiences during the Holocaust before, Oscar?
Yes.
You have, and George, you have.
Yes.
Interviews and TV. So, where, when, and to whom?
We don't know, they came from all over, you know. I can't remember who was who.
Who was who? Did you ever give a TV interview?
No, not TV,
No.
mostly just like for the Jewish news and
Right.
stuff like that.
Sure. Jewish News? Cleveland Jewish News.
Yeah. And,
Yeah. Anything else? Anything bigger? No? Not that. Okay.
Not that I know of.
Okay. So tell us each when and where you were born, Oscar.
I was born in Czechoslovakia.
In Czechoslovakia? And what year?
In 1930.
1930? In Czechoslovakia, George?
I was born in Hungary, 1932.
Hungary, 1932. So during the Holocaust, were you with your family or family members, or did you get separated? Let's start with Oscar.
I separated.
You were separated right away. How old were you?
I was 12 years old.
12 years old, and you were separated right away.
10
10
to 12.
10 to 12. And George?
I was, we were in Hungary, but I was separated because they were in the ghetto and I was running outside the ghetto.
You were running outside the ghetto.
Yeah.
Doing what?
I was trying to bring in some food for the family because in ghetto, you know, it was.
Did you live in the ghetto with them?
No.
No, you lived.
I didn't wear the star.
Huh. And how old were you? About the same age as Oscar?
Let's see, it was in. Well, I was about 10-year-old or so, between 10 and 12.
Mm-hmm. And then did you go to a? Did you live in a ghetto or a concentration camp?
I was in a concentration camp.
You were in a concentration camp. Which one?
France.
In France?
Yes.
A concentration camp in France. Huh. And you never were?
No.
Ever in a ghetto?
No.
You never, okay. And you skipped the ghetto and went to the concentration camp, Oscar?
Yes, I was about 2 months. 2 months.
2 months in the ghetto? And then to France. And then how long were you in the camp?
Camp result.
It's what?
Result.
Okay. Do you remember the name of the deportation or the prison ship that you arrived to the DP camp in? Well, this is a question. Were you ever in Germany?
No.
I was.
You were in Germany. Oscar was not. And did you arrive there on a ship? The question is this: after you transferred from the Exodus, did you take another ship?
Yeah.
And did you go to Germany?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you remember the name of that ship?
The one that brought us back?
From the Exodus?
No.
You don't remember?
They had 3 different ships.
Was it perhaps the Runnymede Park, Ocean Vigor, or Empire Rival?
I don't really recall the name.
Don't remember.
Liberty.
Liberty?
Liberty.
Liberty ships?
Yeah.
Huh, okay. So do you remember the name of the DP camps that you were transferred?
No.
What, we got back to Germany?
Yeah.
Lubeck.
No.
Lubeck.
Lubeck?
Lubeck?
Lubeck, yeah.
Okay.
He remembers more than I do.
Uh-huh. And do you remember how long you were there at Lubbock?
Yes, the submarine camp.
How long?
Submarine camp.
A, s-
German submarine camp.
a German
German submarine. Submarine.
submarine?
Submarine.
A submarine camp? Okay. And how long were you there?
6, 7 months.
6 or 7 months.
I was a year in the camp before I went back to Israel.
Okay. But you don't know which one. But you were in a DP camp. And this was in Germany.
Yeah, that was after the British brought us back from Exodus,
Okay.
to Germany, to the British camp. I
Okay.
was there a year before I was able to go again back for good into Israel.
Mm-hmm. Were you? Did you go to Cyprus?
No,
No.
that's the reason we went back to Germany. Either you went to Cyprus, or this was the only ship that actually that went back, that they sent back to Germany. The one before us and after us, they all went back to Cyprus. And this was the only one, the Exodus, that was sent back to all the way to Germany.
France,
How about what, Oscar?
first to France.
First offense?
First to France.
First to France. Yes. But never to Cyprus. So were you in Israel? You were both in Israel at the time.
Yeah.
Were you in Israel when the state was proclaimed on May 14th, 1948? Yeah? Yeah. Do you have any, this is not one of the questions, but I'd like to know. I'm sure you can't answer in 10 words or less, but what was what was the feeling there?
It was real nice.
Yeah.
Dancing.
Dancing in the streets. And then, of course, you remember dancing in the streets, Oscar? Yeah. And then, of course, war. Right away.
That came with that.
That came almost immediately.
Almost immediately when it was declared, they started the Jordanians sent planes, a couple planes, to throw a couple bombs.
You were where? And let me ask you this though: when you first heard, were you listening to the UN vote on the radio, or how did you hear?
Yeah,
it?
the radio.
It where?
See, he was a different place in
Different place in
than I
Israel.
am. So
Where were you? Where were you?
I was in a kibbutz.
In a kibbutz. In the army. In the army in Israel. And then did you
But
fight?
he wasn't right away.
He what?
I don't think he was right away,
He wasn't right away.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he says yes. He was right away. So, and did you fight for the independence? Yeah. Boy. And that's about it for the questions that are on this page. And of course, the other question was, do you have any memorabilia? And right, and Oscar does, and we did actually show some of that in the earlier clip. But this is Oscar's memorabilia. And here's the Jewish News, Cleveland Jewish News from September 4th, 1987. Remembering the Exodus 40 years later. But here is Oscar. This is and what is this, Oscar? These are your papers? Yeah. There's Oscar. Huh. All right. All right. Well, thank you, Oscar Sachs and George Adler, for your participation in this. And that's all, I guess. Thanks.
Now we go for lunch.
Now you go for lunch.